When was the last time you thought of buying an all-wheel drive car with go anywhere capabilities and a Maruti Suzuki was on your list? When was the last time you thought of buying a proper strong hybrid and a Maruti was on your list? And when was the last time you thought of buying a car upwards of rupees 20 lakh and a Maruti Suzuki was on your list? Well, if the answer to that is mostly never or long time back, now Maruti Suzuki has a solution, or rather an answer to all those requirements in form of the new Grand Vitara. Let's talk about the performance of the Grand Vitara, wherein you get a lot of powertrain options as long as you buy a petrol one. But within petrol, you can either go for the strong hybrid, which we are driving right now, which is a system that Maruti Suzuki has borrowed from Toyota, or rather they have collaborated, and it's the same system that also is found in the urban cruiser Hyrider. You can also go in for a mild hybrid setup with again the same petrol engine that we've been seeing on the XL6 and the Ertiga, and you can get that with an automatic transmission, 6-speed 80, which made its debut on the Brezza, or you can buy the all-wheel drive version, which Suzuki calls All Grip, and that you can unfortunately buy only with a 5-speed manual transmission, no option to get an automatic as of now with the all-wheel drive. And you can also go in for the petrol engine with a manual gearbox and a mild hybrid only. So quite a lot of variants you get there to choose from, and that's a good thing because it will tend to suit a lot of needs and a set of wider audience. Now talking about the hybrid first, because that's the most interesting one. Now it combines an electric motor, battery and an internal combustion engine, but it's running on a different Atkinson cycle, so that makes a lot of difference. And as a result of all of this working together, what you get is some amazing fuel efficiency and lower emissions as well. Now in terms of driving experience, well, it is a very smooth car to drive. It starts off in electric mode. You can drive it powered by battery only up to a certain speed. Of course, if you're gonna be gentle with throttle, you can go along with on the battery alone, but if you're going to use the throttle generously, the engine will have to kick in and support the propulsion. But I think most of your urban runs would be managed on the electric power only, which is the reason why you get some amazing fuel efficiency. And of course, when it's running on the electric mode, it's very silent. You can also choose to be in the EV mode using a button, and what that does is it puts the vehicle in the EV mode as long as there's enough charge in the battery. So in terms of driving, yes, it's smooth, it's very hassle-free, it's refined, it has decent amount of power also, I would say. When you really give it the beans, the battery, the engine, everything comes in together to give power to the vehicle, and it's okay. It'll gather momentum at a fair pace. You can easily make highway speeds. You can go at about 140, 150, no problem at all. The only slight problem here is that well, it's not exactly engaging to drive, and that is partly because of the CVT that has been used. Now CVT being a CVT, it does have a rubber band effect wherein you press the throttle and it makes a lot of sound, but it doesn't go that fast. It's basically rock and roll. It does rock a lot in terms of decibels, but the roll happens a bit slow. So as long as you can live with that, I think it's a very good vehicle to drive. No problems at all. It's only that it's not engaging to drive. The all-wheel drive version, well, that's the complete opposite. It is a brilliant machine to drive. It's very engaging. It, of course, gives you the ability to encounter rough terrains, do a lot of stuff. Now, a lot of people will tell you that it's 4x4 and all of that. It's not that case. It's all-wheel drive. It's not a hardcore off-roading machine. All-wheel drive means you can go around on a lot of rough surfaces. You can easily do or plan that Leh Ladakh trip with your friends. All of that will be done with ease, and it also gives you the option to lock and use 50-50 traction on both axles as and when you need it. It also has various drive modes, and we did get to test it on a purpose-built off-road track where the all-wheel drive system did a very good job, and it proved that the vehicle is very capable, as you are already seeing right now in the footage. Now, coming to the automatic, that again is smooth, easy to drive. It's a 6-speed automatic, works well, has been tuned more towards efficiency, and it's got a linear power delivery, linear acceleration. It comes with paddle shifters. It's again something that will get you from point A to point B with a lot of convenience, good fuel efficiency, because it also has a mild hybrid system, but it's not engaging to drive. So pretty much, if I have to summarize the Grand Vitara driving experience, very good options in terms of powertrain. The hybrid does a really good job in terms of fuel efficiency, smooth to drive, refined, very comfortable, convenient. The all-wheel drive is massive fun and very capable. The automatic and the hybrid do their job as expected. So that was about the powertrain. Now coming to the ride and handling, well, the Grand Vitara being an SUV, it's now also coming with all-wheel drive. It's a capable SUV, and if you're going to push it to the limits on high speed, well, it is going to reward you. And while it might not have the powertrain to excite you, the handling definitely is very impressive. You can push the Grand Vitara around corners with very good confidence, and it responds well. It's got great handling, again, on high speeds on the highway. Stability is very good. Braking is nice. The steering gives you a decent amount of feedback. As a result of all these things, you do tend to have a lot of confidence in the vehicle's capabilities. And even around corners, if you're going around at high speeds, the vehicle does not mind going around bends at a fair pace or changing directions quickly. So on that account, I think the Grand Vitara overall, as a package in terms of driving, it is very good. Also in terms of ride quality, that balance between performance and comfort has been achieved very nicely. So if you look at the occupant comfort, also going over bad surfaces, road undulations, all of that is dealt with in a very good manner, and the suspension does a good job and keeps the occupants largely insulated from the movements and the undulations on the road. Also, I think it will be great if Maruti Suzuki offers features such as the HUD, ventilated seats, all of these features at least as an option with other versions also, such as the all-wheel drive, for example, and not just the strong hybrid. There are people who would want the whole package. So as an option, it should be available. Now talking about the design, well, the Grand Vitara has got a very different design from any other Maruti Suzuki out there. For starters, like many other Marutis where you would see that the design looks utilitarian, it also looks practical. This one, on the other hand, exudes lifestyle, and that's what makes this different from any other Maruti Suzuki car out there. There is tastefully done chrome up front here in the grille. Also, if you look at the angular bumper and the fog lamp surrounds, all of it has been done very nice. And even when you look at the 17-inch alloy wheels, the overall, the roof line pattern, the side line, the shoulder lines, and if you talk about the rear, where you have got this nice tail lamps that go from one end to the another, put it all together and what you get is an SUV that looks macho, it looks handsome, and at the same time, it also looks pretty premium. Now, talking about the interior of the Grand Vitara, well, it will slightly differ depending on the variant you choose. This one is the manual mild hybrid, so if you're going in for the strong hybrid, the colors used in the dashboard and the buttons and the layout can be a little bit different, but it will not be very different. Now, talking about the cabin experience, well, the interior is basically a mix of new design as well as bits that we know are existing on other Maruti Suzuki cars. So while this design here, the leather finish given here does add a premium feel to it, you do have the touchscreen, and which we have seen earlier on the Baleno, and you have the instrument cluster that we are used to seeing on vehicles such as the XL6, but of course slightly redesigned. But overall, when you put all of these things together, it comes together to give you a nice soothing visual experience. The plastic part on top, it's hard plastic but not too bad, so it goes pretty much in line with the premium positioning of the vehicle. And this touchscreen itself, it looks good, it looks the part, it's good to use, good touch response. The visibility under direct sunlight is good. You've got wireless Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, and you've got connectivity wherein you can use a lot of features using your smartphone. Of course, the instrument cluster here right now for this version is a combination of digital and analog, but if you go in for the strong hybrid model, you will get a fully digital instrument cluster, which looks really nice. The steering wheel is the familiar Maruti Suzuki steering wheels, the same button layout that we see. And what's really nice about this cabin is that the fitment quality and the material quality has definitely gone up a notch, and that really goes in sync with the positioning of this vehicle. Feature list, very impressive. Ventilated seats, again, these are depending on the variant that you go in for, but across the range you can expect ventilated seats, wireless charging, like I said, wireless Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, a panoramic sunroof, which is a big thing. The sunroof itself was a first in Brezza, and now here you get a panoramic sunroof. The negative part or the improvement area for the sunroof though is that the curtain given is very light to my liking, and it lets through a lot of light inside the cabin. It does give an airy feel, but on warm days and when the sun is really bright, I would prefer it to be darker. But beyond that, I'm pretty happy with what Maruti Suzuki has done with this platform and with the Grand Vitara. Now, talking about the rear seat experience of the Grand Vitara, well, with this driver's seat adjusted to my driving preference, and I'm 5 feet 8 inches for reference, well, I think it's a very spacious cabin. I have a lot of knee room to spare, good leg room. Easily I can slide my feet under the driver's seat. The bench itself is very comfortable. The cushioning is pretty much spot on, and it's one of those few Maruti Suzuki cars where under thigh support is good and adequate. There's also this nice cushioned armrest with dual cup holders, and the headrest is adjustable. More, well, you can also change the backrest angle, so you can again push it further and get a more comfortable seating position. Add to it the fact that the overall glass area is quite extensive, and you have a very nice wide panoramic sunroof. The cabin feels very light and airy. It's already spacious, and it feels a lot more spacious than it actually is. You also get two charging ports here, and there are rear air conditioning vents. These rear air conditioning vents though are very small and look a bit out of place. They look like they've been lifted from a hatchback straight for an SUV. But that's the only thing that's amiss here. But beyond that, it's a great cabin, and it's a great experience for all occupants inside the Grand Vitara. Now for any SUV buyer, boot space is a very important requirement, and in the Grand Vitara you get quite a lot of that. The boot volume, not just that is enough, but even the boot design is quite nice. It's simple, it's pretty much straight ahead, and you can plonk in a lot of stuff inside the boot. Keep in mind though that if you go in for the strong hybrid version, in that case you will end up sacrificing some part of the boot space, because that space has been taken up by the batteries. But minus that, it's a nice boot to have, and it's a proper boot that allows you to use the Grand Vitara as a recreational or as an adventure vehicle, which you should, because the vehicle is capable of delivering on those fronts. So should you be buying the Maruti Suzuki Grand Vitara or not? Well, the simple answer to that is why not? It offers a good design, it offers a spacious and comfortable cabin, a good set of features that are at par with any of its rivals, and it is brilliant in terms of fuel efficiency and refinement when it comes to driving experience. Now, the pricing. Well, that is the only thing we don't know about Grand Vitara yet, because the prices are yet to be announced, but we do know the prices of the High Rider, which is the same vehicle with a different set of skin. Now, the strong hybrid for the High Rider is priced at about 19 lakh ex-showroom, and this being a Maruti Suzuki, I would expect Maruti to price their top-end hybrid Grand Vitara a little below that. So maybe a few more thousand rupees under 19 lakh, and for that kind of money, I think this vehicle offers a very good value for money. Yes, it does not have a diesel option, but it tries to make up for that with the strong hybrid. So overall, I think the Grand Vitara is a very well-rounded product. The only thing it lacks is driving engagement in the hybrid format, which some people would say that diesel offers in spades, but that is pretty much the only compromise. And yes, I would also want that sunroof curtain to be a little darker in shade. It's too thin, and right now it just lets too much light inside the cabin. But yes, another winner on hand for Maruti Suzuki, definitely. It just is a matter of a few days, and I hope Maruti Suzuki will price it comparatively like they have priced all of their products in the past.